Hello students, how are you all? So once again we are back with the Alchemy Online tutorials. Okay, so as we all know that in our last video we have completed with the importance of this importance of the principles of management. Okay, and we have already completed with the characteristics and the importance, and now today we're going to start quite very important topic of this particular chapter, because now basically the topics that are left out in this chapter are quite important from the exam point of view. Okay, like this Taylor scientific principles, that what we were going to complete it today. Then the techniques that what Taylor has signified. Then we're going to study with the 14 principles that what Henry Fayol has created, and at last we're going to have a comparison between Taylor and the Henry Fayol's principles of management. Okay, so today we're going to start with our topic, that is Taylor's scientific principles. Okay, now the scientific principles of management, they are being created by F.W. Taylor. The full name is Frederick Wilson Taylor. Winslow Taylor. Okay, Frederick Winslow Taylor. Okay, he was a mechanical engineer, and soon after going through the way of working which was being carried out in the organization, he come to a conclusion that certain scientific principles are also needed. Okay, everything should not be on the basis of the intuitions or on the basis of the experiments. Okay, something should be scientific, something should be logical. If we are doing anything, then a logic should be there beside behind that, or after doing that particular thing, a kind of a logic, a kind of a scientific inquiry should be there. That what F.W. Taylor have thought. Okay, and then he created certain principles of this scientific management, and therefore he was being termed as the father of the scientific management. This question may be asked in your MCQs, that who is known as the father of the scientific management. So the answer should be F.W. Taylor. Okay, now before starting with what all the principles he has created, first we will going to know about that what do you mean by the word scientific management. See, scientific word we have already studied. Scientific word means anything which is having a cause and effect relationship, anything which is logical. Getting my point? Okay, I guess we have already studied this word scientific in our previous chapter. Right, management also we have already studied. If anyone who hasn't gone through my chapter number 1 video, please go through chapter number 1 video. Only then you will going to come to know that what do you mean by management. Okay, so this term management, that is the art of getting things done through others. In short, we have already studied in our previous chapter. Now, what is the combination when we combine these two words all together? So it exactly means knowing exactly what you want your men to do. You need to know that what exactly you want your men. Your men means your labor, your employees who are working under you, who are working under your organization. So what you want your exactly your men to do, and seeing and to look after that they do it in the best and the cheapest way. Okay, our main target, our means whoever is the superior authority of that particular organization, their main target should be that how their work is getting implemented. Okay, how their work is getting implemented. Fine, students. So this is what is about the scientific management. In short, once again, scientific management means knowing exactly what you want your men to do, okay, and to see that they do that particular task, they do that particular work in the best and the cheapest manner. Okay, without wasting any resources. Okay, with doing the optimum utilization of resources, that is known as best and the cheapest manner. Getting my point, students? Chaliye. Now let's move further with the four principles that what this F.W. Taylor has created. Okay, chaliye. Without wasting much time, let's move further with the very first point of the principle, that is science, not rule of thumb. Now in this particular principle, what F.W. Taylor has suggested, that whatever task you are doing, whatever activities you are doing, you should do it on the basis of the science. It should not be on the basis of rule of thumb. Now what do you mean by the word rule of thumb? I am going to explain this particular term by giving one example. See, what happens is, if we are working in any organization, okay, now in that particular organization there is no any such scientific inquiry or logically work was being done. Whatever is being carried out, or whatever your father is doing in that particular organization, he is doing it through his experiences, that what he had learned since 4 years or 10 years he was working in the same field, and whatever he had learned from last 10 years or 8 years or 7 years, he is implementing those things in his future. It means here no science is involved, here no logic is there. Whatever you are carrying forward, okay, means whatever your fellow persons have done, you are going towards, you are following that particular path only. You are not applying your mind, you are not applying your logic. Somebody has told you that this thing should be done in such a manner, you have not even put a counter question on that. You have just admitted that thing and you have started doing that particular task. You have not applied that whether this particular thing should be done or not. Why you haven't applied? Because you have thought, okay, fine, this thing is already been done by our fellow persons, or by our seniors, or by our father, or something like that. Then why to put a question mark on that? I will also going to apply this thing only. So what does it mean? This is known as rule of thumb. Here you have not applied any logic. You are just following the rules. You are just following the path of the activity without any thinking. Okay, whatever has been done before, you are just following that. Getting my point? This is what is about rule of thumb. So what F.W. Taylor has told, that he was totally against of this rule of thumb. That why we are not applying our mind, our logics, why we are not doing inquiries, why we are not doing scientific inquiries. Okay, we should do it. We should come to the conclusion that okay, this task should not be done in such a manner. Okay, the mistake has been, if the mistake will be carried down by any particular person for 10 years, then what does it mean? You will going to carry that particular mistake for 10 more years? Is that mean? You will not going to apply your mind. Then what is the difference between you and the other person? This is what F.W. Taylor has told. Okay, see what he has told. In this particular explanations, that what is written on the slides, I have just briefed out the particular topics, and then I have written only the head points. But it's my suggestion to you all, please go through the NCERT books, and whatever the explanation is given in the book, please read it down. Okay, of course the objective is same of whatever I have written and whatever written in the book, but still for your betterment, please read the book. Okay, chaliye. Now what it is written, every job should be based on scientific inquiry and not on the intuitions. Means whatever work you are doing, you should do it on the basis of the scientific inquiry. You should do the inquiry of it. You should do you should find out the logic behind that particular task, and then you should do it. You should not do it only because okay, I have an intuition of it. Okay, or because of the experience, or because of the hit and trial method. Okay, let's try whether we are going to get success or whether we are going to get defeat. It's not a hit and trial method. Everything, whatever you are doing, it should be logical, and it should be full-fledged inquired beforehand. Then only you should do it on a practical manner. Okay, students. Next is, there is only one method to maximize the efficiency. What he told, that in order to maximize the efficiency of the business organization, there is only one method to do that. And what is that? It can be developed and developed only through the work, study and analysis. Now here it is written work, study and analysis. This is a kind of a technique that what F.W. Taylor has created. Regarding this, we're going to read in our next video. But I'm just telling you that these are the techniques accordingly F.W. Taylor has created his principles. So there are many work studies like fatigue study, motion study. We're going to read all those studies in our future videos. Okay, students? Chaliye. I hope that I have made you all clear with the first point, that is science, not rule of thumb. Fine. Chaliye. Now let's move on with our second point, that is harmony, not discord. Now what this person told, F.W. Taylor, that whatever work we are doing in the organization, it should be done with a proper harmony, by having a proper unity among each other. There should be no feeling of discord. Discord means disputes. Okay, that's what F.W. Taylor has told. What he told, that worker and management must work in harmony. What he told, that the worker, the employee who is working in the organization, and the management, both the parties should work in harmony. It should not be like that worker is telling something else and management is not following it. Management is passing the orders, but worker is not following it. So it means that there is no unity among both of them. But there should be the unity if you need to work efficiently, effectively in the business organization. Okay? There should be the mutual understanding between the two, that if any hurdle occur, any mishappen occur, but their misunderstanding should not, the misunderstanding should not occur between the two. Okay, whatever the terms and conditions are, the mental state of both those two personals should not be negative regarding each other. It should be positive. Okay, Taylor insists on mental revolution. Now this mental revolution also is one of the technique. Okay, for this also we're going to go in deep in our next video, but for your betterment, I'm just giving you in a glimpse that mental revolution means complete change in the attitude of for each other. That the attitude for a particular personnel, it should not be changed. We should not think anything negative regarding any particular personnel. Neither management should think negative for the worker, nor worker should think negative for the management. Both the parties should work in harmony without any disputes. Okay, students? Chaliye. Now let's move on with our next topic of this principles of management, that is cooperation, not individualism. Now this is the extension of the previous one. It is one and the same. Cooperation means in harmony, in unity, the work we are doing. And there should not be an individual tasking. It should be the group effort. It should not be the individual efforts. So this term, cooperation, not individualism, this is the extension of the topic that what we have understood previously. What does it mean? That management and worker must work in cooperation with each other, as I have told before. There should be a proper unity, there should be a proper cooperation between each other. And management should welcome the suggestions of the worker and reward them for the good suggestions. Management should not think that, okay, I am on the top level, or I am the authority maker or the decision maker, then I will not going to listen the suggestions of any of my workers or employees. It should not be like this. Okay, we should welcome cordially, we should welcome the suggestions of the workers too. And if in case any best suggestion or any good suggestion is being given by any of the worker, then in return, for their betterment, for their upliftment, for their morale boosting, we should provide them the reward or awards also. Because these rewards and these awards will automatically going to motivate them to work more harder for the organization. Okay, and then they will going to give their 100% towards the organizational goal. Okay, so and at the same time, At the same time, when the management is providing you when the management is thinking to provide you the rewards or awards for any of your suggestions that what you are providing, so at the same time, the worker also should not go on strike for any penny issues, for any or on any strike or any lockouts. They should not do such activities. There should be an open communication system between both the parties. If worker needs to tell anything to the management, then they should tell it openly, okay, without any hesitations, without any fear. And same way, if management needs to tell any or needs to give any orders or needs to give any suggestions or whatsoever, then there should be an open communication between both the parties. Okay, and with that, there should be the equal division of the work. It is very, very important. See, this is one of the principle that what Henry Fayol has created, but this principle even F.W. Taylor supported. Okay, he told that the work that what you are allocating to each one of the worker, it should be properly distributed. It should not be like this, that one worker you are giving more work, another worker you are giving less work. Getting my point? If the work is same, okay, and if the workers are working in the at the same field, then you should provide it, you should divide it on equal basis. Getting my point? Clear, students? Okay. Next topic and the last topic of this particular last point is development of workers to their greatest efficiency and prosperity. That means that if we need to have the best result if we need to get the best result from the worker, then it is very, very important. First and foremost, we should select the workers very carefully. Okay, and after selection also, once we are selected, while allocating the work, while dividing the work, we should divide it as per their qualification. In our mind, the target should not be that we need to complete the task. In our mind, the target should be that we need to complete the task, fine, but we need to complete the task with full efficiency and effectiveness. And that can only be possible if we are allocating the work to a particular individual as per their qualifications. And at the same time, it is also very, very important that employees should be provided training, time to time trainings. Because what happens is that, see, in training, these employees are getting practical knowledge. That what they haven't got it before. Till now, they were getting the theoretical knowledge. Fine. They were not well equipped in their practical manner. So soon after getting the training, what happens? They will going to get the practical knowledge also, that how to implement their theoretical knowledge in the practical manner. So what does it mean? Automatically their development will going to occur. And if the development will going to occur, it will going to bring the prosperity even in the organizational institution. Okay, students. I hope that all these 4 points you all have got it clear. And they were quite very easy, but still please revise these particular topics from your textbook also. And in our next chapter, in our next video of this particular chapter only, we'll going to study about the techniques that what F.W. Taylor has created. Okay, students. So once again, I thank you so much all of you, and please take care of yourself and do study properly. Sitting at home, please don't waste your time and do your regular studies. Okay? So thank you. Bye-bye.